Hello, my name's Nicola Lowe. I'm a solicitor and the head of the family law department here at Adam Bernard Solicitors, and my colleague Olivia is also a solicitor in the family team. Today's podcast will be regarding 10 key questions that we get from our clients.
If I'm thinking about separating, but I'm scared to involve lawyers, can you explain what exactly a family lawyer does and how early I should speak to one?
Of course, that's a very good question that we get from our clients. So in relation to divorce, we would strongly advise that you get advice at the earliest possible opportunity. This is simply to ensure that we can ensure better control over the procedure itself. So divorce can be quite complicated, and we understand that this can be an extremely stressful time for you. And it's important that we get it right when we're lodging a petition and also when we're advising you regarding finances and any other potential impacts that this could have on children.
Thank you. And if my marriage is broken down and there are children and a house involved, how can a family law solicitor help me reach a fair and calm agreement rather than a big court battle with my ex-partner?
Of course. So in relation to pre-negotiations, we do have a range of services that we can offer, such as sending a letter to the other party to try and reach an agreement amicably, and also a mediation service. So if you do not wish to proceed with a court application, we can offer a range of other services before the court application is made. But in the event that the agreement doesn't formalise, we can also make a contested application to court if we need to. So in relation to no-fault divorce in England and Wales, what does that actually mean for me, and how is the process different from the old system?
Sure. So the no-fault divorce came into force in 2022. And the purpose of that was to reduce conflict between separating parties. It means that the applicant in the divorce no longer needs to blame the other party for the relationship breaking down. And it means that in amicable situations, parties can make a joint application, which can lead to a reduction in conflict and a more amicable solution overall.
Thank you so much. And how long does a divorce really take in the UK now, from the day I apply until I'm legally divorced? And what can slow it down or speed it up?
So from making the application, the court will receive that and issue it on to the other party. There is then a 20-week waiting period, and the purpose of that is to give the parties some space to think about their decision and also have an opportunity to discuss the financial circumstances if needed. At that point, the conditional order can be applied for, and then after a further 6 weeks, the final order can be applied for in the divorce. So overall, we say it takes around 8 to 9 months, depending on the complexity of the financial matter as well.
Thanks for confirming that. So what are the actual steps of the UK divorce process? Application, 20-week period, conditional order and final order. And what should I be doing at each stage?
So we would really recommend you seek legal advice as early as possible. The application itself is done online, and that is something that we can assist with. The 20-week waiting period can be used to conduct financial negotiations in the hopes that by the time the conditional order and final order are applied for, the financial order is also settled. So all of the resolutions can happen at one time. So how are finances sorted on divorce, and what is a financial order or a clean break order?
Thank you for this question. So a clean break order could be sent off to the court if, for example, we were to reach an agreement about finances. So this would be a consent order, technically. So we could start this process by way of negotiation. So perhaps we could start off by sending a letter to the other party or engaging you with mediation services. If we are unable to reach an agreement and we need to make a contested application to court, we could also do this, but this procedure can take longer and can also be slightly more costly. So we'll do everything we can at the outset to ensure that we can minimise the possibility of having to make a contested application through negotiation and mediation.
Thank you. And if I am worried about money and I'm in a weaker financial position than my spouse, what can a fair financial settlement look like for me?
So what we can offer at this firm, we do offer a range of private services that can assist you in those negotiations, or if you wanted to make a contested application. But we do also offer legal aid. So either way, we'll have you covered from the outset until the end of your proceedings. If you're looking to instruct a solicitor, we would strongly advise, especially if finances are an issue, that you get advice on your options at the earliest possible opportunity regarding your finances so that we can move forward in the best way possible for yourself and the children.
Thank you. And in the UK, what can a prenuptial or postnuptial agreement look like, and are they actually worth having?
Yes, definitely. I would say if you are considering getting married, or even if you're already married, it's well worth having a prenuptial, postnuptial agreement in place. It's important to protect your rights and also to get initial advice. Perhaps you're considering starting a new marriage and you want to know a bit more about your interest in the home, should your relationship break down, and also in relation to children. So if you could book in for a consultation, we can go through all of your concerns together to ensure that they'll be fully considered as part of your prenuptial or postnuptial agreement.
Thank you. And if we're not married but live together, what can my rights be if we separate? And how can a cohabitation agreement help me?
So cohabitation agreements can be particularly useful if you're not married or you're looking to start a relationship and move in together. This is to ensure that, say, for example, if the relationship were to break down, your rights would be protected in terms of moving out of the former family home, especially if there are children involved or you plan to have children together. So again, we'd advise at the earliest possible opportunity, ideally before you move in together, that you get advice from a solicitor on your rights and how we can help protect your interests by way of a cohabitation agreement.
Thank you. And finally, in relation to children, how are the arrangements for children decided? And how do the courts look at what is in the best interests of the children?
Thank you for this question. So in terms of the court's considerations, they do have a number of factors that they will consider as part of determining child arrangements if we do have to make a contested application to court. Before that, again, we can try to resolve the issues by way of correspondence or mediation, but this wouldn't usually be appropriate if you do have any urgent safeguarding concerns. So the best thing to do is to book in with one of our solicitors in the team, and we can go through your concerns together before deciding on which application we might need to make to the court, and also engage in mediation if it's appropriate. And the court will decide what's in the best interest of the children. That will be perhaps taking longer than one or two hearings. So we must inform you at the outset of the timeline that you can expect. And we can advise on that in a bit more detail when we have your initial consultation.
Thank you so much. And how can I get in contact with you or the team?
So we have our main telephone number. We also have email, and we also have social media. So you can contact our main reception on 0207 100 2525. And you can also contact our family solicitors, whose email address. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you've got any queries about what we discussed, feel free to comment below and we can answer your questions in the next podcast. Thank you.